Is this Lake Arrowhead? Big Bear? Idlewild? Nope. This is Beverly Hills. Kind of. This property was actually in Los Angeles. It was built in 1961. My name is Stephen Meade with Domicile Real estate for people who love houses, and this is window shopping. So who built this? How was this built? Why was this property built? And most importantly, why should you care? We're going to answer that and more today. Let's go ahead and get started and dive right into it. This property was built in 1961. As you can see, it is an A-frame. We don't normally see A-frames in Beverly Hills, Los Angeles. It's located up in the Beverly Crest area, which is kind of a little bit of a semi-rural area, kind of up in the hills between the west side and the valley, but still a very unusual property type. However, this is not the only A-frame in the Beverly Hills area. It turns out this one is a great example of maybe some of the potential that this property could have. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. This property is listed at $1.25 million for the coveted 90210 area code, just like the TV show. That is cheap for anything that is detached and livable. And this property actually has a lot of potential. It is 1,264 square feet. However, the assessor record actually shows a little bit smaller of a size than that. And it sits on a 6,600 square foot lot. This one is not our listing. It is listed by Maggie Ding with Compass. However, there's a couple things I want to talk about with this property. First off, let's just take a look at the outside of this thing, right? This does not look like anything else really that you would see in this area. I also want to take a look and show you something on the inside. I think this is my favorite view of this property, kind of looking out the back here with this sort of wall of glass looking onto a green hillside. Obviously, this is kind of the main living space of this property. Something that I think is a little tragic on this one, and it looks like they just painted it not too long ago, is painting all of the ceiling work. I think I would definitely look into possibly doing sandblasting to remove that, because I think that really would change the character of this property. If that's not possible, I think you might have to actually go white on this one to kind of create a little bit more of a brighter feel. I think what you want is this kind of sophisticated architecture look instead of this sort of cabin that somehow got built on the edges of Beverly Hills. But again, we're talking about price point. One of the other things that I think is unique about this property is the carport area underneath. There is actually somewhat of a basement. Basements are not common here in Southern California. I want to go ahead and show you a picture of that, because I think this is space that you might be able to reclaim at some point in time. So if you take a look, here we've kind of got, this is that carport space, and you'll see there's kind of a door down there. This is that space underneath. It looks to be like almost a full height space. I think you could turn this into like a third bedroom, kind of like a studio home office type space, maybe even a cool wine cellar, bourbon cellar. I think that'd be pretty sweet to do that here as well. I think there's a decent amount of space in here that could actually be utilized and still give you access to some of the mechanicals of the building. A couple of other things that are noteworthy on this property is I think the upstairs loft area is very, very underutilized. Let's go ahead and we're going to I'll show you a couple pictures of the space. I think this gives you a good look of heading up to that loft space. The staircase, obviously some room for improvement, but I love how you can see all the way down kind of the spine in the central hallway in this home. If we take a look upstairs in that space, you can kind of see what do you get to, right? When you climb those stairs, like where do you end up at the top of those stairs? And you actually end up in kind of this little loft type space here. And I think this is a very underutilized space because, this property is 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. And the main bedroom is actually on the lower level. I would want to find a way to convert this entire loft to kind of be that primary suite. There's no bathroom up here right now, but I think it could be a super cool space to be in. I think there's plenty of room to actually do that up here. And there's a cool little private deck up here too. We're going to show you a picture of that real quick for that private deck. I think that's a real opportunity to get this to be a 3-bedroom property, which will greatly increase its value, especially if you're able to reclaim some of that basement space as well. The other thing that I think is cool about this home is that the kitchen is largely untouched. And there's one particular feature in this kitchen that I love, and that is this very, very original sort of countertop mounted stove and oven configuration here. We see these in a lot of older homes. The burners slide out, so it's kind of like a drawer underneath there. Super cool. And I love how the structure is everywhere inside of this property. Really just kind of a unique feel. I mean, there's nothing like this, and there's nothing like this even remotely close to this price point. One of the famous boat houses is currently for sale. They're asking like 1.7, and it's like smaller than this. So I think a property like this really gives you a lot of opportunity to go up. And again, with that Beverly Hills mailing address, I think you've also got a lot of opportunity to grow on the value. Anyhow, I mean, super awesome, right? Not something that you see every single day, something that's very unique at a price point that I think is accessible for a lot of Angelenos or a lot of people that are kind of looking in this area. Admittedly, this is totally livable as is, but I think most buyers are going to look at this with kind of an eye towards what is the potential. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this one, we could definitely show it to you. If you don't like this one, but you love architectural homes, absolutely reach out to us. We would love to work with you. Also, we've got a sign up down below in the description for our weekly architecture email. We kind of collect the 12 best homes that came up in Southern California each week, and we send those out to you so you don't have to go looking for them anywhere else. Super easy to get that every kind of Friday evening, Saturday morning in your mailbox. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Questions and comments, as always, we love them. In fact, why don't you write down in the comments below, would you live in this property, the urban A-frame? Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again real soon.